I was for a woman now. Yamamo Hanso, Bium, and Yabeshia or Nsem Dumadieso. And so Yabidin Como. Afa our desem. Then our young Kuma Yabediani, customary marriage, dear Yamudu Donata, friend, engagement, and then Humcomo Yabedin. Na yet see the America. Near us a numpono a Warian Casancasa, Nandi our encounter. Because as a binum is away and one as on Wario. And so I quote the answer. Nina mo na yebedi hunkomo and then so no yebie ahmana to montem and I said the question we na say nkomo yebedi city anything no yebie ahmana to montem what me afre na ya djemo nsem na mama no ye nyina kama te na wo awutie no dube ne de ahmana to dwa ben wo phone no ben wo friends no wallo TV no se be ya de beka bia no bete yen kana wonya feedback so e ma yen ye pra ye twa ho ba keto bia de lawyer ne be hye ne no edin beto dwa na ya de nkomo no so ahyehyɛ so entwe homra sisia abuja fo ya mama kwa ba ade ba Nsem dwumadie so na wie yi enan so yasin konwa ye bedi nkomo na lawyer waje bra ne ye bedi nkomo no ye frɛ no lawyer UMAR FAROUK and waje konwa ajebre ene yebedi nkomo no watrechre nneema efa customary marriage on emprepi bebre na wasa awade ne mu bia wo mu hu ne mpo se ayawade no mo ware bebre na wasa awade ne mu bia ene ma bebre esisi omu na ya na etwetwe maso ensori mbo hu ne ensori bi mbo hu ne se ukosa awade ne bi mu a na ware ye ade so kodira so ndem na so koye wedding ana tese wa ware ene yebesua diamna ne ka efa ho ne ahunu se sa awade no ko bi mu a eya ware anase nya ware wa no obi atena emre bebre na nipa ne se na nko agusua ne mu nko ye ho ade na so na otie na eya ware na ware anase no so nya ware yebedi nkomo ne enen so yebebi ahmona to ntempa ama wo a wakwesen bia aposo bobisa bia no what me the question number na yagebre ayiwa no kama enti yama lawyer kwaba counsel yama kwaba
that's it
bia wo ko de
na me adoma
looking very nice what are the affair
oh but that's it
good said ye and yedi kan dia to dwa no yenkoma yedi ne efa customary marriage na yakasa customary marriage anokwa na dey
well first of all counsel me pese me chat ifo secondly so me pese me dawase for the opportunity wa mama
me so that's so waje braba
and thirdly so me pese me serving notice to yeti ifo say
okay
between a bit corrupted intermittent and the profit well customer marriage we share Ghana yamra mo a eyi aware ya won ultimately in three types and as
you want to hold on
into baako ya customary marriage
okay
into depending on a microphone where involved no a kwame na on person mo fa no into ultimately for customary marriage na customary marriage no o sha based on your case law going back to the days of the celebrated juries Justice Olenu in the celebrated case of Yaote and Kwe.
Okay.
And we're defining customary marriage.
Okay.
We're defining it as a warrior between a Bemane and the family and a Oban and the family.
Okay.
It goes beyond just Bemane and a Obano.
Okay. Now there's a tra say a me and Obana me busunya ni Obana busunya enyina na involved.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also customary marriage so I want a qualities me. Inti baako ye say customary marriage potentially in profit because say potential are polygamous. Okay,
now there's a customary marriage unya ewura bi mu a wade a wo kwan nya so timi wado.
Wo be ma no because polygamy say you mean baako ye polyandry na baako ye polygyny.
Okay.
But in Ghana no polyandry is prescribed.
Okay.
And the polygyny, which is say Bema need to be married or to marry more than one.
Okay. Now so Obana the Ghana man sequence Obana to marry me. na mo be man de so wo customary marriage ni mu a emra na ma kwan ma be man tin ware mienu na so bidu be so ware bia
absolutely anti customary marriage one of the qualities say potentially polygamous into be man no at any point in time no otime ware kan na cap bia ni so yes e cap
na say do o ware ni so
exactly
do bi on office na ho de bi ware bi ware
exactly
okay
and the second one also say customary marriage prohibited on the grounds of consanguinity. Consanguinity as any say relationship, blood relationship between two people. Until Bema or Bano say we are related by blood. Mean customary marriage.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Na say no jomiti asi ya na say Obana Bema no every ebia ejaba akoma ana say number akoma na bia o nyina bofu ma ba akoma ba akoma enam so o mu nyina free yefun ba akoma na say o moja no esene ntin o mienu ntin ware ma na nyi
exactly
mo so we free baby no o free baby
exactly
all right
exactly and the tossum me say customary marriage any ordinance marriage mutually exclusive in the sense that untimi customary marriage na later we say o san be ware will be by ordinance. Into so your customary marriage na also immediately say ware will be by customary. Now later on, converting into ordinance. It means that customary marriage, a bit trim, as if say
any new. Okay, and then say even say me bia oba akro no a enyo oba foforo. Oba akro no a no ware no in the customary way no and we no what toss akoye ordinance and no emra ne hu ne say emra ne gi ordinance ne pe na tum ne mum enye customary ne tum
exactly
okay and I will say yentimi nso so me koye owa fa so ba ho ade customary a mintimi nsan wo no ho enko ware wo ba be in ordinance form so
exactly. I know under laws no Rebecca say I know it borders on the lines of criminality. I see. Because a monogamous marriage, which is ordinance naturally monogamous.
As a new ordinance in the wedding I can was
exactly.
And no the worry
back until once you attempt say obey back either say by a customary and say by a ordinance, it becomes or it falls into what we call bigamy, and bigamy a criminal offense.
Oh, okay. I see. Now, yes, BBD, breach of promise to marry.
Well, breach of promise to marry, say, me kind, Ghana had so warrior. There are three forms of it, my one, your customer, you discuss it.
Yeah.
Other one here ordinary, so you discuss it briefly, and the third one here Mohammedan,
Cremophobia, yes.
Now, whichever choir will be choosing. The starting point exchange of promises. Okay. Say be man be shebo say.
Be shebo be say me say what?
Me ware o. Obe shebo ama oba so obe ware na oba no so agitum.
Okay.
Say wa na so obe pene. Into once there's that exchange of promises then under the laws it constitutes what we call a binding enforceable contract. Which either of them can go to court and enforce.
Okay.
What I say. So that is what we call a exchange of promises. It constitutes what we call an enforceable contract.
Okay.
And once that contract is formed, then any of the parties now involved, once okay say oh me worry na obaniji tuma na ebia in the course of it one for failure, then it amounts to what we call breach of promise to marry.
Okay.
And breach can occur in two ways. Either say anticipatory and say non-performance. Now, because anticipatory, what we mean is if Bearman share so be worry obano, or kase me worry by the end of December.
Okay.
And I say on the occurrence of Christmas. Maybe me worry on the occurrence of Christmas by means of ordinance. Maybe Christmas and Drew, na we who say, and as Obana who say, Beman, Akowari will be by ordinance. It means that once we worry will be by ordinance, won't mean and no is what we call anticipatory breach.
Okay.
You can anticipate say won't mean for
exactly.
Bona or shell.
Yeah.
The second one here non-performance. And no worker say, oh, may worry by December. By ending of December. Now December nature more January more on for failure on worry. Then it means that non-performance breach has occurred.
Okay.
And any of them.
It's what can you say? Masho was by Brunia Abbey. Now, you walk October, maybe around October ending. What is some of what I do from? Now, there's a no way say, and I'm sorry, I'm the possibility of would be muscle very high. Exactly. The anticipatory breach said, who said, maybe need to be muscle because of the animal medical tendency. Exactly. And now, the other one says, December, and I bridge and I'm a share one, so now I didn't know muscle.
Exactly.
Okay.
And your friend a non-performance.
Non-performance, all right.
Non-performance. And meaning actionable in court.
Meaning or ban to one and what man.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Exactly. Okay. Now, you're going to say, had there any special characteristics be a war customary marriage?
Yes. Medical kind going back to the celebrated juries. Justice Olenu,
yeah.
In the celebrated case of Yaote and Kweno, or lay down for a principles on all friend 4 essentials of customary marriage.
Okay.
And to honor. Once one of those essentials named Nima, one of those essentials, then there's marriage in your own worry.
Okay.
In the first one, they say, Ostati say, Bemane a Obano. Or some jitum so person together, more wire no together. And the first one. Okay. And the second one is say Bema and family. Or some jitum say oh or ban or person wire or jitum. And the third one also yeah or ban family so also almost jitum our no in it.
Okay.
And the final one here consummation. Consummation is on better together now my that together no and
okay. Okay.
Then I have 4 essentials now.
I see.
But however, no, we share your mramwa. We no principle 4 essentials no. We share your mramwa. They no longer stand.
Okay.
They no longer stand because mrana evolve.
Okay.
So now no, we share customary marriage. You have 2 types. You have formal one and you have informal one. Formal one no, they say, be man the family, ebeko oba the family. Now, Omako Kashe, Obano family say, oh, I'm a person worry, I'm a banner. Now, not 2 families, no, settle on deed, say, okay, on this particular day, you better finalize the process, no. Until on that particular day, no. In the first part, no, and your friend, knocking, no. And so subsequently, after knocking, no, Bema and the family, then we'll go with depending on, maybe about free, the culture and the tradition, so or ya Kenya and Asa Santinia specifically, no. Inti subsequently, Omukwa, Bema and the family, kwa Ebiana, Omode, drinks near the Adina, Omode Akoma, Oban the family, now Oban the family are free, Oban Ebi Bisan say, oh, I see me in the family, so I'm a person warrior, Ojitum, into Ojituma, then. They then finalize the process. Now I marriage. I know that your mramu, Ghana mramu, your friend, former customary marriage.
Now knocking the next knocking and your marriage.
Knocking in your marriage.
Oh, okay.
Knocking.
But even if someone when you're going knocking the next review.
They knocking in your marriage. And we share a society most of there's this common mistake and for they liken what we call engagement popular in your society. Say. Bema and the family, Akuhu, Ban the family, now on the Bible and the ring account. A lot of people's afa that particular event no as equating to customary marriage. No.
Okay.
And yes, synonymous to customary marriage at all.
Okay.
In fact, the presentation of a Bible on the ring, no, and yes, synonymous to it has no intimacy with your friends a customary marriage.
Okay.
In fact, the reality is strange to your customs. Bible there.
Bible ne ring no. And your money and your mom and
share. But meanwhile, there's your society. There's this
perception.
And customary marriage. No.
Okay.
And no.
Okay.
They are 2 separate things.
All right.
The presentation of Bible in the ring there, it's got more to do with a ordinance.
Okay.
It has more proximity with ordinance than a
friend. Does it mean that the customary marriage it can occur without the rings?
It can.
Okay.
But depending on certain cultures,
okay.
A ring might be one of the requirements.
Then as a ring in a come my ring in
it doesn't invalidate our ring.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Send an American. Aside former customary marriage, yes, informal customary marriage, and that is what I was alluding to. Say the involvement of umrano customary marriage. Into Oshe, in the case of Esuma and Care, for instance, they laid down what constitutes a informal customary marriage. Into Bema, se Bema ne oba epenese ombetena together as husband and wife. Now, in actuality, ombetena together as husband and wife, and there's evidence say, society for who say papa we and mommy we almost together and omawo together and omota call programs to say be a funerals near they together and so be a oma sign acquire property be oma dying together. So in the eyes of the Ghanaian course, once they see all of these things are under list, then to them, even though your friend is saying, papa no, and I said Bema no, in the family, or moon call Obana family, and co present drinks nationals now, asking for a hand in marriage. The absence of those things does not mean say there's no marriage. Once they have lived together, or together, or together, or attaining and also acquire properties together, and attending and occasions together.
Programs and
society and some in the eyes of the court, that constitutes informal customary marriage, which is also actionable.
Okay, and then I said, not even those on co-official inquiry money. Now, so I'm saying, don't know whom say 1 year about for and you will be tying together and it is presumed to say, even though young the format and informal marriage.
Absolutely. Until in the famous case of Esuma and Care, for instance, say a friend is saying, Bema worry oba or worry no by a customary marriage and Bema for third party, friend the third party, or no by no no J. Your friend is Obano.
Okay.
To or J Obano, and I didn't know where.
Okay.
Or didn't know where, and or sign, and subsequently, or to talk in Yama, and all the your friend is saying, Obano family, someone found Koma, Obani Nukuno, as replacement of the Darino. So even though in that particular famous case, third party, Papa no, or no buy one cop, mammy no ho. And uncle whom I'm in a family, I'm presenting the man. But in the eyes of the court, the court said the first marriage had been dissolved, and the subsequent one constituted valid informal customary marriage.
Therefore, any other for running some of the Terabia, what did to the normal when Tiasi and Mabi one. Ya na bua ebo brekakra. Na so nyina mu de amrane ka no eno ane ediso. Ebra hwe ye wo question bi a person obusa ebi na won Tiasi a ye the phone lines no to screen sesi a fa na frɛ na o question bi ha wa won Tiasi bibi a sie wa wade ho a won mbia no won so busa phone number na the screen so na ye 0550 090702 0550 090702 frɛ ofra abomode an lower TV no de meka bia bet into the lower TV no boko na busa question na yetimi nya no kama in sense me enkomo aye die koso afiefiem bebre enti ne ya kwanya na ba de adwene ho acha wonya no ye bia no frɛ ne ma wano ye ne hu de na yi na se fina de kro emra no ka efasa ware na wo mu no council yanto aso na they say you know having done this say me pese my coin to customary marriage na say me pese me gunu do I have to go to the court?
You can. There are two ways of doing so.
Okay.
You can do it customarily by means of your custom, or you can also go to court because your Marabia Parliament passed your friend Matrimonial Causes Act.
Okay.
And share under Section 41 of the Matrimonial Causes Act. It makes or it creates a window for spouses or go through customary marriage to be able to dissolve their marriage by means of the court. And it depends on the persons involved. If you want to do it by means of customary customs, you can follow that path. If you also want to do it by means of the court, you can go via the courts. So depending on the persons involved and the choice they want to make. But my opinion as counsel, as a lawyer, and they say sometimes, depending on the circumstances, it's always better to go through the court because the courts will more or less present you with certain opportunities.
Okay.
For instance, court in the determination of or in the dissolution of the marriage, you apply certain principles, constitutional principles, and the rule of law principles to say natural justice, conscionability, equitability.
Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon. Me catch your friend me. Equia.
Okay.
Me catch Medina.
All right, Equia, Macho. For question.
Me question. They say. Our form, our customary marriage, everything done, wedding done, tema. You register everything. Until after some years, we encountered some problems, and medically, my husband happens to be a sickle cell, and I mean so me a sickle cell. Then I opted, said no. I don't want it because I want and I don't want it to continue again. Until eventually there's a divorce coming up.
Okay.
Me kuno ante mase. Until me yi me nyamako. Me yi me nyamako a 2 years ni. So with that, how do you say it? Because me kuno anya register obeji nsano. Yeah, we've tried to meet his family. Annually. Until with that, is it a divorce? After 2 years, maybe a lawyer say, how does he see it?
All right. But it has it. For Orlando to say the Abanya question or answer. Counsel, not some 2 ways. But I say, what the reason they were cited medically as we no fit because we AS AS. To whom say because one person almost one by one, and I'm going to be AS and there should be divorce. And it's not Jawari. But one already concerned is a Beman and Pastor Bajinsan. But this is a marriage that has gone through ordinance. Can that be divorced through Sebedin Sanako? That is the first question. The other question is, I said, having left the matrimonial home for 2 years now, when a man in BBI, can that also amount to divorce or they should go through proper divorce?
Okay, we share more. First of all, now I'll say my register marriage now.
Yeah.
It raises certain questions. So why register marriage? Because also my custom and my wedding or my ordinance. Yeah. Because Okasa registration say your friend is saying customer marriage so registrable. So Okasa my register. So I was asking whether customer marriage or my register and also my wedding converted it to ordinance and have subsequently registered it. So, Osha, you see, a purely customary marriage. Osha Mramwa I think there's a case. The court stated there's a marriage or specifically customary marriage can be dissolved unilaterally.
Okay.
Unilaterally, I'm saying is one of the spouses can unilaterally dissolve the marriage because say a problems between the two of them now both families have attempted to resolve the marriage and in a year it's gone beyond reconciliation in law Rebecca and they attempt then to give the drinks or the equivalent gifts back to maybe a Beman and Crawford. Na Beman to say in her case, Beman refuse. You see, you can't force somebody in a marriage.
Okay.
That's the general principle of contract. A marriage is a contract. You can't force somebody into a contract. That's the reason why there's a universal principle like every contract be terminable.
Yeah.
Once you draft it or you enter into a contract and there's a clause saying you can't get out of it, that's unconscionable and it's illegal.
Okay.
To put it legally. Inti ubisamia, I think because they have moved it or converted it into ordinance.
All right. Wait 1 second. Kola, good afternoon. Kola, good afternoon.
Hello, afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. Bacha, would you know be free?
Epacho, your friend Anita.
Bacha, free.
Epacho, me free kaswa.
All right, Bacha, Anita, Bacha, it's you.
Epacho, me worry, 3 years ni.
Bacha, what are you doing? Anita. Bacha, what to answer?
Okay, inti. Say earlier call on the case no so state is on the basis of medical grounds.
Yeah.
Now we share in most of the cases the grounds for dissolution of customary marriage. In fact, Rebecca say inexhaustive.
Okay.
It's not, the list is not exhaustive.
Okay.
There are so many reasons why. Exactly.
Okay.
One of them, infidelity on the part of the woman because in customary marriage the man cannot commit infidelity.
Okay. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Pacho, good afternoon.
Afternoon, madam. Bacha, would you know be free?
Me Pacho, the family Augustina. A family Augustina make a touch freedom me.
All right, madam Augustina, Bacha, it's you.
Me Pacho yo.
And tell who TV so I would have said to
Me Pacho yo Martin das. Me Pacho Bema o peso ware me no. Oni na okofa na busu afofri ni krom. Ne papa ne maame ene ne wo fa ne mo. Ebe ye fie die. Ba ka wa bia an ambem. Na mpesa ubisa when ma me say say na me friend ya ware ana say wedding ni ntin e bia it saying.
Okay, ntin Bacha question ma me nti wase be ma na de na busuafo ba wo so busuafo nchen ebe sere wa ware afiri wo nsam mebo a
me Pacho ai
de nsane bibia ba fie ebe ho ade ofie
me Pacho ai
na mum ring na wo amfa nka ho ho
me Pacho ai
nti no na wo bisa se de wo so de ne ya ware anasa nya ware
me Pacho ai
all right nti Bacha fatu say de abanya answer
yo
all right council back into the trust free first one and the for you my median.
Okay, first one saying an American the grounds for dissolving a marriage inexhaustive.
That's on no grounds now say no correct.
All right. So they because I'm converting into ordinance or some of far
court council
exactly.
So no question is on what 2 years no I want to be man in champion 2 years no. And also, no, can that amount to some divorce?
Say, call ordinance, the way they dissolve ordinance, there were a number of ways of doing it. I think 5 years separation. I think so. Someone say 2 years.
2 years, yes.
So 2 years, I think say 2 years. No, it's a bit problematic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Say, Madam, we one also was say, Berman on and Sunny baby Yako, but now ringing come. Is that marriage?
Yes, sir. No, me decline can say a customary law marriage. You mean your informal one and your formal one. Into ocean or no there it even falls under the formal one.
Okay.
And me decline can say the presentation of Bible on the ring. No, I know strange to customary marriage.
Okay.
The two they don't even work together.
Okay.
But where related to ordinance.
Okay.
Which is the presentation of ring and then the Bible. I know related to ordinance, but on the end, customary marriage. So in the eyes of the law and on my opinion, based on my understanding of the law, it's a valid marriage that occurred.
Okay. And Madam Augustine, I'm about to know said okay, no. Our dear no answer and why. Call good afternoon, but you wouldn't never be afraid.
My friend Francis Mikasefia Kra.
Francis Majority.
I'm about to I cancel like Asanoka, Bibi Fa, Obi or third party. No, see, Obia Ware, Akuho Bushafuno. No one Bushafuno, no. Third party in Subem, or no, Obano way. Now, Odin Yamakoma, where man could hold me in Tias Papas of it to me. Actually,
all right. Yeah, that's it. All right. Council, Majority would take a question here.
My response and they say, I know a real case is here, court, a court, a determination. And you know, lawyer say, in the hierarchy of laws in Ghana, under your constitution, the constitution, the
supreme law,
the sovereign law.
Yeah.
And after the constitution, the parliament they pass it comes next, and then after that, your friend is saying a subsidiary legislation.
Exactly.
So counting in our subsidiary legislation, parliament they passing in. So then our customs, so customary law, and also a part of your laws, and then your case law, which we took from as a common law in the country, we took from the common law. There's an case law is part of the UMAR. Inti Asuma and Care was a case that occurred. The court determined it, and so it served as a precedent going forward, and defined for a reasonable period of time what we call informal marriage, informal customary marriage. And in that particular case, facts were that Bema wari oba customarily not together, and third party Bema
Bema for front is one check.
And obe J more or the mamene a warrior. So I didn't warrior no. Even though mamene marriage with the man was still existing, but new Bema the third party no buy inside or buy between the two of them or no was accepted by Obane family more or less impliedly, and by virtue of that not to talk nema first mamene husband first man no Darren no toy and the man mamene family so on fan koma
we na say ware no mumu no
exactly
no say ba mo no mo ware
until omo yes and na your friend say omo the Darren presented Darren in the back so even though subsequently ono ne mame no ma wo but o man koye your friend say one ko present drinks near the but the court defined it and held it to be a valid marriage between the
third man and then the woman, because it's a man edit back on the trees and man back through Obana Bush.
Exactly. Until dissolution had occurred, and at the same time to exactly because the elements of informal marriage existed, which is giving birth and here and then living together and people seeing them in society.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. Call good afternoon, but you didn't be afraid. Hello. Hello. All right. But you're interested himself on what lines. Call good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello. All right. Indeed. Now that case in India, it's quite unique. All right. Good afternoon, caller. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Daniel from Ashalibutri.
All right, Daniel, Bajo, it's you.
Bajo, sir, who are the not one register, not a divorce, but one to make a court. The one register or court.
But one Obana worry if you are a member. But more inquiry ordinance, more register court, baby. Now, and I see divorce about divorce number, say, Munti Obium. Number the Munti Obium, a trins and offers Mauritania.
But other
a trins and Modeco.
He said the Yamamino Canadian. That by Papa Peso Beji in town.
Into also the numbers of Benjamin Bois.
For me, a question I made this.
Okay, no, it's something better I say is a question and say in advance be as I want to the number so by the train sanoa. Na munti obi mu a our guy na aba na so our guy any ma nyasa.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You know say.
Yo,
and the question what's in the question as he?
Or say no omon person omo je
Yeah. I mean, or cite a similar example with the first woman no. Okay, say man person omo
yeah, another.
Into one so be as I we you know if you are any be one quite ordinance be also. I be if you are na oba ne person or the things and oba gene back no. But woman to be no. Can that amount to divorce?
Say already no classical customary marriage no why.
Yeah.
More or less they are separated. And I no make a attempt say or the trains and go back.
Yeah.
And omon person omo je.
Yes.
Initially, some are indicated that customary marriage you can dissolve it in 2 ways.
Yeah.
Under the matrimonial causes act through the court and answer through the customary way.
Yeah.
Inti or no attempted customary way no. And what they did no, say I've indicated say you cannot hold the other party and the other spouse to ransom. Say inti the law in customary marriage generally in marriage has made room for unilateral dissolution of the marriage. Inti so omo they call na penia because they've been separated. Maybe say how long the court will then make a determination. Say if they have been separated for a reasonable period of time, it amounts to valid dissolution of the marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
A reasonable period of time.
So. Kola, good afternoon. Bacha, we didn't be free.
Good afternoon. Pacho me free amasamai.
Bacha yeti.
Me free.
I'm free bacha yeti.
Me pacho me ofa ne yire. Oma ware court aware ni efie die. Na so no se oba na free me ofa ho 8 years ni. Ofa otiom aware no ware biom. Ofa nsanemra otiom fama. Etimi busa se me ofa anko court no. Obetimi aware ana. Abra oba ne fa nsanemai.
Okay.
All
right. But I the question. All right. Okay. The question now is no offer. Aware. No offer. No aware. No for 8 good years. No offer. No action. No free. Aware. No. Na say no offer. No change. I want to be in with the notions of onward be. But on onward be. I mean, there don't be any proper or official divorce. But for the past 8 years, they've not been together. It is you just no offer. No be talk say what and no one do offer for frana.
Is it ordinance or?
Ordinance.
Ordinance.
Yeah.
Yes, say I know your friend say we share under ordinance. One of the ways of dissolving it. We have got other ways. If they have been separated for 5 years.
Was 8 years.
If they have been separated for 5 years and there are certain conditions and those conditions are met, then a valid divorce.
All right. Okay. And that's it. But good afternoon. We didn't be free.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, madam. But we didn't say.
But your friend, me na me the kind friend, you know. A friend me Anita.
Anita, but you. Hello.
Epacho, me no
worry. But
you
TV as well, Anita. So what mean come into who TV so like I say why?
Epacho 3 years ni na aware na worry you know. Court ya worry 3 years ni na ya worry court ni efie de ni nyina bibia kama na sorry ni my receipt bibia wo fie nanso se me pesa me de court a me kunu so menchen kakra na bibia ni nso menti ase na me bisa se me metimi de akwa na because the signature bibia wo so me metimi de akwa na makwa sesa medin ana
but o question no man tini yie papa e dey ade na say won chen am pese o court
me pacho me trese ya worry 3 years ni
yeah
na bibia ya efie de ni court ni na ya wedding yeah na court aso my receipt court winning na make no ono no sini signature wo so ba me say yam sorry ni say yam fan call back Meka say yam fan kwa also mentwen kakra 3 years ni.
Oh, okay. But 20 dina sonsa. Eye mo marriage certificate na asoro no ma mo copy no.
Me pa try.
And asoro no say mo fa second copy no go back to the court.
Me pa try.
And now 3 years ni ukun ma won fa ko.
Me pa try.
Ah, you ntu so busa say
me am met me dia kwa ana because ne signature ne bibia wo so ne ma me de ne papa de me so me papa de bibia wo so come.
All right. Okay. Yo, Mate.
All right.
Council, what's the question? I was normally after marriage, you know, certificate copies in A2. One must be returned to either the assembly or whatever, more picky free, you know. And now I was saying, most keep it back. But come here as a woman, and 2 copies in Abidu on chain. Or cast of episode of Quanic, say, when you about answer. So 3 years now on Vanquoy. Now the question is, can she take it back without the, the authorization of the husband?
Under the law, straightforward, yes.
Okay.
But also watch, is it going to create problems within the marriage?
Okay.
But that one is up to her. But under the law,
under the law, or no between their
and say it doesn't. There's no law that says Beman and Kwane between.
Very well. Yeah. Very well. Okay. But caller, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, madam. But you didn't be free.
But your friend are better.
But your auntie are better. All right. But you
but your friend are better.
But you auntie are better.
If I told me, I was there 16 years.
Okay.
Now, ayo. Now, you worry at the BBA, I send her home. I saw for that on the certificate. I was demanding. I can't buy and a bear man a fast certificate. I'm not a team. So, I am Thomas City Bear 14 years. While worrying about for 40. I made a man worry. On this one, will near me. From fans on my Muslim family, the young 80. Fine.
Auntie Alberta, but you bet me and see who was even as well. The work can be at into the interior. Why? Hello. All right, Council, and just. But I mean, there's only question. What's in a see here?
As a
one in
started a chassis from customer normal converted
to ordinance.
Now,
at some point, there was a misunderstanding. The man at marriage certificate.
No, there's a copy with the court and those.
Exactly. And now, yes, I know they have also been separated. Okay, they have been separated for 14 good years.
Separation, no, and about effects.
Okay.
But in terms of the so marriage certificate, there are no legal.
Okay, so, but also I didn't remember. So,
vocation.
Say, obi for your ordinance marriage, no. Now, our bar. Yeah, people also believe say also Sunday the customary part, no, and Sana what the I saw Sunday and Sana go back. There's a two working that way.
No, one say customary marriage, say and the family law, there will be a friend of conversion. Into you can convert customary marriage into ordinance, and once there's conversion of
customary to ordinance
into ordinance, automatically no. Customary marriage it ceases to exist.
Okay.
As if say and into once there's dissolution of the non-ordinance marriage, technically no, there's no need to worry yourself with.
And Sana is also under corner. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Bacho, good afternoon, caller. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Bacho, bet member programs look at.
What I remember, Bacho was in Tikasayitio.
Hello, good afternoon.
Bacho, you're doing Cansinia.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I'm Bacho in Tio who TV as well. You're doing Count to the Casa. Low TV, not the Casa.
Me, Bacho, me question is say.
All right. Hello. Bacho, call us and I'm offering Mandaro, my Samwara. My questions in who here now, your answers in the win your year. And the best Mofra, Utivino, Dumino, I mean, wouldn't know about it mutino. Why? Not in Tio who TV, so. Name pay attention to us. The me can be no phone no kita no beti. Why now the bush also question. Good afternoon, call Mbacho within your free.
Yeah, hello, Mbacho. Your friend Elizabeth. Me can say free Ashama.
Madam Elizabeth Majority.
Mbacho na me papa. Oware mu mame ordinance.
Okay.
And 2 months later no, and I realize say wasan kware another woman. Oma wo ba. And about no customary marriage and I say and no which of the marriage is recognized.
Okay, but before so what about to no? Oma ame de no ogusun no hostel.
But papa ne film 1 year ago.
Oh, papa film 1 year ago.
But the woman that is married customary married no we jaware no papa yare na ojai ase. Oni me papa chen bi. Nti me mama na ewo ho ana. Film koi. Nti me be say which of the marriages is recognized because we no the Japadian so omo nche ebusanfo say omo twen my stepmother also have to get her share. Nti be say me how the way forward. That's it.
All right, that's it. Cancer, so what's the question?
Money hano.
Okay.
Because say the mom and the papa or more and I know your ordinance. And ordinance we've said earlier on say I know naturally and inherently monogamous. Monogamous meaning say worry being count. Into one say the papa and the mommy or more and ordinance. Technically it means that any other thing a papa and ninas were no marriages.
Okay.
We are not valid marriage in the eyes of the law.
All right. Into and this but question here very simple and answer. Was say our now papa ko ware wo ma me de chi no emra na nyentom emra na jo ma me de no ne ware ne pe anatomo te ne pe na emra nim de ba chi bia no emra na emfa. Good afternoon caller. Pacha odini obi afrefe.
Good afternoon.
Yes madam.
Me pacho say obi eware
Pacha odini obi afrefe.
Customary a otimi esan ko ware aye obey ordinance marriage ana.
Pacha odini obi afrefe.
Your friend me abna me free abna so edro.
All right, but tie me question kakra. Nipa no opeso okoware no ordinance ni oba akro no na e ware no customary na so ba foforo.
Bema ekoware oba customary. Ena bema na assign akoware obi aye ordinance.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's quite similar to the immediate question nearby before this one. But we know oba no sorry, Bema no aware mami no back customary first and as second one and as a second marriage in the ordinance. Which one is valid?
To share technically no say customary marriage is potentially polygamous.
Yeah.
So you can marry
somebody else.
But immediately you marry somebody else by a ordinance. It means the ordinance marriage more or less extinguishes
the first one. And the madam of free abna so edro say our den touch me no ko no ordinance no etwa the edi kan no ye no customary marriage no etwam. But your caller, good afternoon, your name and about your free.
So me pa cho me de nana me free takrade.
Nana ba jo etio.
Me question is say pese na mo kan bia makọ ware oba efia ware ya bibia na ebia oba no ahun be mafoforo na waye ne ho se opese oja ware te se na mo kan se ebia oja ware 2 years a obetimi ajai na se wo be ma no wahun se oni be mafoforo e wo ho a e wo miramu no dia en na obetimi aye be ma no.
Okay, all right, nana me that's it matter of fact. Oni oba ho and wo hu se oba no e fa na chi with another man but officially it is one say that nya we no officially
only evidence say oba na fa na chi.
Well, evidence 71 can but was I'm sure be another hu and say what TV
say oba na fa na chi inti ope divorce ana.
No, what steps can he take either against the man who is trying to trespass on his marriage, and also oba na mo no so fa na chi.
So we there say the first of all one does he even have our dance here say papa is doing that. If so our dance here the only so let's assume say our customary.
Yeah, was customary. Yeah.
So under the customary law, no, there will be a friend enticement. Enticement, but enticement, the classical definition of enticement as what's in the situation does not come under enticement, because enticement is where say honor obano or maware mote obano primary duty per customs is to do domestic side, to be domestic, give birth, take care of your nkolano and also look after the man, be a companion to the man. At any point in time, say third party, Bema, it me procure Obano. Now Obano ceases to perform those things for the man. Then we call it enticement. But Osho Amodiana, it looks like the woman is still performing the duties back home. So Osho technically any enticement. So you can't go after Papano.
Okay.
What you can do is say Obeko after the wife. So Obeko after the wife. So what really does he have under the law? It's just divorce.
Okay.
So divorce and then say customary law marriage. So divorce. Yeah, there are two ways. Either say Obeko court and also
okay. All right. Mbacho, call on the line. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Mbacho, Queer Masaba. Me pacho me say lawyer Kabi say. Hello.
But you
me say lawyer Kabi say your customary marriage na say convert it into ordinance. There is no need for you to return the drink to the man.
Yeah.
I want to find out. Until say one return a drink to the man. Does that mean say no na?
Said you can.
Me case and they say I'm free 2 years in I'm trying everything possible. Say drink and go back to home. Does that mean say here?
So when you call ordinance marriage, ordinance no a botra customary marriage no. And this a botra ne dia. Any ordinance no say the benefit can be a chira bon ne dia no. Into ordinance na so gun wo court. Nti enam say court na so gun ni ntin. When he say odin san na be ko achi. Because odin san ko achi a ordinance no. So what does it?
Now realize the case no. And san no kura no mu dwane. Court no so class on you ready so obeko. O be say unso waka so say untimi nhye obi say onware. Enti na say yentimi force obi ma ne nware ni nti no. There's nothing like say me say omra court kwa me nya wo say na wo ma na wade na pe. I mean enye force sa. It is a wutu sa na mo no kwa na e dia court betie na dia baby say court the court e de beto. E dia to.
Yeah.
Okay. Pacho me da se pa nya me hia mo bebre.
Me da se. All right. So that is our last caller, counsel. In summary, what would you end saying on customary marriage?
In customary marriage, this is an American. Make a number of things. First, customary marriage say you elected to go through customary marriage, and in the event where say a person would divorce it, my advice is say you go through the Matrimonial Causes Act, and don't just customary go through the court and have it dissolved, because court then it has a lot of benefits that you get from it. And secondly, so who go you through customary marriage, it's registrable.
Okay.
You see, but there's a law that has been passed by Parliament. Your friend, the customary marriages and divorce customary marriage and divorce Act.
Okay.
Your friend, the PNDC Law 112.
Okay.
And there's even an amendment to that particular law, which is PNDC Law 263.
Okay.
When you go through customary law marriage, you register it, and in the case there's even a divorce, register the divorce too. Okay. Because once you register the marriage, and in the event where Papa ni no, let's say Papa ni in your Papa ni free, you don't have any difficulty in proving say you were married to Papa no. Okay. So